why we got to share passwords? Why we got to share locations? What, you don't trust me or something?
I don't have nothing to hide. Why not?
So do you feel like if a person makes the argument, I don't think we should share locations, I don't see the big deal about sharing passwords, do you think that it makes them look like they have something to hide? A person can't just genuinely feel like, no, I believe in personal space. You just need to trust me, and I want to trust you. I don't want to build a relationship on that, because that's not really trust if you got to know my passwords and all of that.
I can keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you for real though. Like, if we're not married, I'm not sharing my password and my location with you. I'm just not doing it.
Why?
Because if I'm not married, I'm single.
But what's the difference though?
Why are you laughing? Like, what are we talking about? I'm giving you all my passwords. I'm giving you everything. And then the next thing I know, yeah, we've been dating and it's been good a year, 2 years, 3 years. First of all, that's way too long. What are you doing with your life? You need to figure out what you're doing.
Wait, what you mean that's way too long?
You need to figure out.
A year, 2 years, 3 years, that's too long to be dating?
No, I said like 3 years. Like three. Again, this is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, but what's wrong with dating and to commit a relationship for 3 years?
3 years. All right. You on the fence? Okay,
on the fence.
You all right? But
you feel like there should be a cap on dating before you decide to consider marriage?
No. I'm not saying that there should be a cap, but I do believe that, and I know we're married, but I have friends that are single and I have friends that are dating. I do believe that there's a thing of dating with purpose. You're dating with intentions. Either we have an understanding that I'm dating with a purpose to be married one day, or to be in a longevity relationship that will lead to marriage. Like, that's the goal for me. If we have that conversation and you're like, that's not what I'm trying to do right now, I just really, I'm trying to have a good time or just casually date. Okay, then I know what type of time I need to be on, which is casually dating you like you're casually dating me. But now you talking about 5 years, 10 years dating?
I seen something recently, might have been on the Breakfast Club or something. I seen something where somebody said that a lot of people are not dating with the intent to get married anymore. Like a lot of people don't have the goal where they aspire to be in a marriage, because they don't want to deal with the legalities of being married and paperwork and lawyers and all that stuff if it doesn't work out. And a lot of them feel like it's really just a piece of paper that's binding you guys to be married. I just was curious. I've been meaning to ask you about that too. Like, how you feel about that? You feel like a lot of people don't really aspire to get married or have marriage as a goal anymore? Or do you feel like there's still a lot of people who do still want to be married, both men and women? It seems as though mostly women is the one that introduced the idea of passwords and stuff. And most of the time it seemed like it's women who's going through phones. Like, do you go through phones?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Currently?
Yeah.
Currently, I don't need to.
Have you gone through phones?
Back in the day.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, back in the day.
Why?
Because I don't trust you. But then I don't need to be with you if I don't trust you. That's a whole nother conversation too to be having. Like, what's the root cause behind you having this conversation with me? It's how I'm looking at you. Like, why are we even? Okay.
It be like that. It be like that sometimes though. You can't sit and act like everything in relationships and even in marriages be copacetic all the time.
I'm not saying
there be times and situations where stuff do get a little iffy. Like, you acting a little weird. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you gotta address it. You gotta talk about that.
Yeah, you do. But and yes, there's. Everything is not all rainbows and whatever and glitter in a marriage, but
that's what got you married right there.
Oh my God.
You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. And I do it again too.
You're so silly. You tripping.
You're listening to For Real Though, hottest new podcast in the streets.
Keeping it hot.
With your host Jimmy Rills, co-host Queen Nesha.
You know it's gonna be hot.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel and smash that bell icon for notifications.
Do it.
Like, comment, and tap in now. Nah, for real though.
What up, family? Welcome to For Real Though. It's your boy Jimmy Rills, Mr. King Energy himself. We got the lovely, we got the talented, we got the anointed Queen Nesha in the building. Say what's up, Queen.
What's up, beautiful people?
And we back to y'all with another video today. So today, what we talking about is sharing locations and passwords in a relationship. All right, and the question is, should you share your location and should you share your passwords in a relationship? All right, let's get into it.
I think there's levels to it. Like,
It's always levels to it.
It's levels to it. If you are, of course, if you're married, okay, that's a whole different, level. But if you're just, that's a loaded question. So,
But okay, why? I know a whole lot of people who feel strongly against sharing passwords, sharing locations. They like, okay, we in a relationship, but that's still privacy. Like,
right? I was just like,
so why? For the words and the voice of most people, they want to know, like, why we got to share passwords? Why we got to share locations? What, you don't trust me or something?
well, it's levels to it, like I said. So, I mean, it is a sense of invasion of privacy. In a sense, you are invading my privacy, or I'm trusting you with my privacy.
So why you need to know the password then, if you trust me?
Because then you need to know everything. Like, what do you mean? like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
What you mean? What are we talking about?
It is a level of, you are invading someone's privacy, but I'm giving you the right to invade my privacy. Now, depending on what level or what stage you are in your relationship, you could be okay with it, or it could be a deal breaker. For me, for us, we share everything.
Right.
And it's kind of in the context of, I don't have nothing to hide. Why not?
So do you feel like if a person makes the argument, I don't think we should share locations, I don't see the big deal about sharing passwords, do you think that it makes them look like they have something to hide? A person can't just genuinely feel like, no, I believe in personal space. You just need to trust me, and I want to trust you. I don't want to build a relationship on that. Because that's not really trust if you got to know my passwords and all of that.
I mean, it's definitely not one thing. It's definitely not something that I see like y'all on the first date and this is what y'all talking about. Like, y'all talking about the wrong things if y'all talking about sharing passwords, or is sharing passwords a deal breaker for you or not, especially if you guys are just now even considering to be a contendant to date exclusively. So on that level, I feel like that shouldn't even be a conversation on that level. Like, why are you talking about that?
I feel you on that, but let's assume that we've passed that point and we've decided to mutually be in a committed relationship. And someone asks, hey, I think we should, share passwords and share location. Let's say they've been dating for however long, 6 months, a year, or whatever, however long it takes for them to mutually agree that we're going to be in a committed relationship. People even put people in long-term relationships, been in relationships for years. It was never a conversation or an issue. Now they've been dating for a few years. It's getting real serious. Now a partner is asking, okay, let's share passwords, or what's your password?
What you think? Before I can keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, for real though. Like, if we're not married, I'm not sharing my password and my location with you. I'm just not doing it.
Why?
Because if I'm not married, I'm single.
But what's the difference though?
That's a whole different conversation.
No, because what's really the that's funny. That's
I'm
funny
not,
that you say that. I get what you're
not
saying, but that's
married,
funny.
Yeah, if I'm not married, I'm dating, even if I'm in a committed relationship.
You're gonna have side niggas.
No, because not if I'm in a committed relationship.
Okay.
If I'm committing to be in a relationship, okay, we're in a committed relationship, okay. But if I am dating, I'm dating just like a man would date.
We ain't
plural.
talking about that though.
So,
We're not talking about dating. We talking about like we in a committed relationship. Like we're not married, but it's serious. We just mutually agree that hey, I'm not seeing nobody else. You're not seeing nobody else. We locked in. We together.
I'm still gonna keep it a buck with you. I probably won't do it.
Why not?
I just said if I'm not married, I'm single. I'm single. Like,
so what you got?
Let's be 100. Like there's a level that for me personally, that level of privacy that I'm sharing with you. You're not my husband. So I'm not sharing that with you if we're not married. We can be in a committed relationship. Hey, you might light me up in the comments. That's up to you. That's your prerogative, but this is my opinion. If we're not married, that's a level of especially too if I don't feel like our relationship is necessarily going in that direction either.
Why you keep going back?
I'm not going back. We're in a committed relationship.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
We're not married. So I'm still not sharing my location. I'm still not sharing my passwords. I still need to have a level of sense of privacy and protection. Like, why are you laughing? Like, what are we talking about? I'm giving you all my passwords. I'm giving you everything. And then the next thing I know, yeah, we've been dating and it's been good a year, 2 years, 3 years. First of all, that's way too long. You need to, what are you doing with your life? You need to figure out what you're doing.
Wait, what you mean that's way too long?
You need to figure out.
A year, 2 years, 3 years, that's too long to be dating?
No,
What
I
you
said
mean?
like 3 years. Like three. Again, this is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Okay, but what's wrong with dating in a committed relationship for 3 years?
3 years. All right. You on the fence? Okay,
on the fence.
You all right? But
you feel like there should be a cap on dating before you decide to consider marriage?
No. I'm not saying that there should be a cap, but I do believe that, and I know we're married, but I have friends that are single and I have friends that are dating. I do believe that there's a thing of dating with purpose. You're dating with intentions. Either we have an understanding that I'm dating with a purpose to be married one day or to be in a longevity relationship that will lead to marriage. Like that's the goal for me. If we have that conversation and you're like, that's not what I'm trying to do right now. I just really, I'm trying to have a good time or just casually date. Okay, then I know what type of time I need to be on, which is casually dating you like you're casually dating me. But now you talking about 5 years, 10 years dating?
Wait a minute. This is kind of off topic, but it made me want to ask you a question. I seen something recently, might have been on the Breakfast Club or something. I seen something where somebody said that a lot of people are not dating with the intent to get married anymore. Like a lot of people don't have the goal where they aspire to be in a marriage because they don't want to deal with the legalities of being married and paperwork and lawyers and all that stuff if it doesn't work out. And a lot of them feel like it's really just a piece of paper that's binding you guys to be married. I just was curious. I've been meaning to ask you about that too. Like, how you feel about that? You feel like a lot of people don't really aspire to get married or have marriage as a goal anymore? Or do you feel like there's still a lot of people who do still want to be married, both men and women?
I feel like when that statement is made with such a broad stroke. And I don't think that's factual. I think it really depends on your age. I think that a lot of younger generation, they're not dating with the intent to be married one day. You know, they're not right now. Marriage is not in their goal, and may not be in their goal if they're dating in their 20s or their 30s. Where if you're in your 40s or 50s or even late 30s and you're a woman and you want children, that may be a goal for you. But I do believe though too, like a lot of times our mindsets, like the way we think, the way we process sometimes, when it comes to a particular goal, we are products of our environment. Like we're products of what we see. So if you don't see any thriving marriages around you where it seems like, okay, they're happy, they can still be themselves, they still have fun, or if they're boring, or if it just seemed like the guy or their partner is always an asshole, you're not inspiring to get married. You like, I don't want any parts of that. I'd rather just date and have my own stuff over here and just date. So I do think, depending on the age bracket that we're talking about, marriages are not as valued anymore, and they're not. A lot of people, younger people, aren't dating with the intentions to get married because too, they're still trying to figure out who they are.
I think that's interesting because I know single people who also make a case that single life ain't all it's cracked up to be either. It looked fun and it looked lit, but you gotta imagine, like, I heard somebody say this, I thought it was funny. Imagine like going on a job interview. Anybody that's ever been on a job interview, like, okay, you apply, put out a bunch of different applications. You know what I mean? It's kind of a lot like dating, right? So you meet this person and you start learning about them and they learning about you, and you opening up and being vulnerable, and you casually date them for 30 days or 2 months or a few months or whatever, and it doesn't work out. And then you basically got to shut that process down and start all over again. Like, somebody painted it to me like, don't nobody want to keep going on a whole bunch of interviews, like, and you got to keep opening up and keep talking about your past and all the stuff that you've been, you know what I mean? Because you got to be open if you're going to date. So it's just like, on one hand, the single life look lit, but then when you are casually dating, you got to keep starting over and keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Like,
it's a journey.
That don't sound fun either. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so bring it back full circle a little bit. Think about what you just explained. So I'm dating you and we're dating for a year. And you're like, or 6 months or 8 months, and you're like, oh, we need to share locations, we need to share passwords. And when you say passwords now, I'm thinking general across the board with everything. Or are you saying just my phone? Or are we talking about phone, bank accounts?
We talking about phones, like phone, social media, stuff like
that. Well, so think about what you just said. If it don't work out, then I'm starting all over again. Then I got to go in and change all my passwords. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do all that. And what if social media, like, I make money off social media, so then I got to go and change my Nah.
But we ain't just talking about the willy-nilly, been dating for a year, a couple years. We talking about real serious committed relationships. These people been rocking for a minute.
It's serious.
Like, they know, they really feel like they not going nowhere, but they feel locked in and they want to share passwords. Like,
the reality of it is, if I'm not married, I'm single. And when it's good, it's good. And when it's not, it's not. So no, I'm not. That's me. I mean, different strokes for different folks, but
I feel you.
That's me. No, I'm not doing that.
I actually agree with you, but you gotta kind of like just consider all different perspectives.
Like, I'm wondering, I want to know, and leave a comment. Tell us what you think. I want to know, why are you even asking me this question, bro? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, why is this even a question? Like, why Why you even gotta ask me?
But
Like,
9 times, it's funny you say that because 9 times out of 10, well, I don't know that to be true. I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but it seems as though mostly women is the one that introduced the idea of passwords and stuff. And most of the time, it seemed like it's women who's going through phones. Like, do you go through phones?
are you asking me that?
Yeah,
Currently?
yeah.
Currently, I don't need to.
Have you gone through phones?
Back in the day.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah, back in the day.
Why?
Because I don't trust you. But then I don't need to be with you if I don't trust you. Like, what are we talking about?
But this is the reason why I'm asking that. So it's just like, okay, you going through the phone. So why are you even going through the phone in the first place? And that's a kind of a rhetorical question. You just answered it, but I'm just saying, like, women in general. And I feel like a lot of times when you go, most of the time, if you're going looking through phones, it's always going, it rarely does that end well. That usually always end up bad. Even if you don't find nothing, and now you overanalyze and you reading into shit too much. And it's just like, if you really going looking for something, then your mind could be playing tricks on you where you looking through the phone and you see something that look like something that it ain't. Like I just rarely, it just always seemed like it go bad if a person starts looking through phones. And there's some guys who look through their lady phone too. But a lot of the time it be women who be the one going through phones, and it be women a lot of the times who introduce the idea of, hey, let's share passwords, or what's your password to your phone?
Look.
Or they're trying to go through the phone, can't get it, and they be like, hey, what's your passcode?
All right, but like I said, if we ain't married, you available. Sis, you available.
What?
You available. If you're not married, you available.
What?
If you don't got a ring on your finger. Now, if you guys talked about being in a committed relationship, all right. But even with the committed relationships, you still have the opportunity to be wooed. I'm not talking about a side dude, because once you're married, you don't. Yes, you notice other people. Yes, other men and other women look good to you. But I don't have it in my mental where I'm available to truly entertain someone else. If I'm in a committed relationship, especially when y'all know how we get, especially if you in this relationship and he or she ain't giving you any act right, and then somebody comes along and sparks a conversation.
So you're more likely to entertain bullshit is what you're saying if you're not married.
I'm more likely to I know that I can be open to it.
Which is the reason why
you
don't want to
have a conversation. That's when dudes get that conversation. Like, I think we need to take a break.
But you know what that explains it.
I think we need to take a break, bro.
That explains it. This is the reason why.
This ain't working.
No, wait. This is the reason why you feel like, and I'm not advocating necessarily either one way or the other, but I'm just saying to keep it fair. This is the reason why you feel like you don't feel comfortable sharing passcodes until you get married, because you're still likely to entertain somebody else because you're not married.
No, I'm not.
That's what I'm hearing you say.
No. I'm not likely to, but I have the option to if I want to. I have the option of exiting our relationship when it's not going in the place that I wanted to go.
But that ain't what we talking about, though. We ain't talking about.
I'm not just saying like off GP. I'm not just saying off GP.
Cause to be real, you're not finna just drop this relationship and then it's usually like somebody already in your ear. You already entertaining somebody else. You trying to see where this gonna go or what this finna be before you. Most of the time, women ain't just dipping out of this one to jump into this one if they don't really know what this one hitting on yet. That ain't how it go. It don't go like that. So if you are even if you're in a committed relationship and you're not married, and you are being wooed, as you say, right? You get a DM or whatever. You got another guy in your DM and y'all talking.
It's called, okay, why?
You still not finna just lead, even if you ain't getting 100% act right here. You still not finna lead that to go over here and you don't know what this is yet. That's just not how it go. It sounds nice.
Okay, number one is called ghost. I'm not saying it's right, but people do ghost people. So
once they've been dating for years,
it can happen.
You start. I ain't never heard of nobody getting ghosted. That's like when it's new and early in the beginning, but like y'all been rocking for a while.
Okay, so that even proves my case even more. Like, who wants to deal with all that? Why would you hand over? Because a lot of times, come on, your PIN number, your bank account.
We ain't talking about
your
that.
password. Okay, my password to my phone. If I'm a vlogger or something, that could be my money. Why am I gonna give you that? I don't know who been raising y'all, but I wasn't raised like that.
Your mama told you not to give your password out.
My mama raised me better than that. I'm not just gonna give you my password, my information like that. And we not people are imposters. They're not truly who they say they are.
Let me tell you.
So look, I'm that person that you're like, okay, are you asking me this because you have trust issues? So I'm the person that's like, well, I'm not going to give you this because I don't even want to cross that bridge about trust and all that. Like, why is it a conversation? Like, if it's something that just organically happens, all right, cool, it happens where you just know the password to my phone, you know how to get in. But if we really got to sit down, let's really think about this. If I really have to sit you down and say, hey, can I have your password? Can I have this? Like,
that usually ain't how it go.
Why? Like, you should give me. How you know how it should go?
I'm gonna tell you how it goes.
How do you know?
Cause I've been around the block a time or two. That's how I know. This how it go, y'all. Peep game. So me and you dating, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, babe, my phone dead. Let me see your phone real quick. Oh, it's locked. What's your password to your phone?
None yet. Let me open it up. Let me see it real quick.
Just tell me what it is.
Let me see it real quick.
What is it?
Let me see it real quick and I'll open it. And I put it in.
That's how it be.
No, who got time for that?
People be doing that. That's how it be.
And
so no, wait. So then when it go like that, right? And it could be the female who's on that type of time who trying to get the password or whatever, or it could be the dude, because it be dudes sometimes too. So then based on the reaction that they get, then they be like, she acting real weird about this phone and this password. Like, what type of time you on? What you got going on?
So that's what I'm saying.
And so then it's just like, then usually that's when the conversation come up. Like, I think we should, how you feel about us, exchanging passwords? You can give me yours and you can have mine, and let's share locations too. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times it stems from something like maybe they tried to get it, or they notice you just super resistant from giving your password. So then it kind of makes you seem like, oh, what type of time you on? What you on? You get what I'm trying to say?
So that's a lot of insecurity right there that you gotta unpack.
It is.
Like, as a person, like,
it is.
I'm really looking at you sideways. Furthermore, why would I want to give you that information if this is such an issue for you? So to me, you're saying, I'm gonna, like, this is a deal breaker if I don't give you my passwords and my phones. Like, it's like the saying, you go looking for trouble, you might find it. So
I feel you. So what about married couples then? What about married couples who weren't sharing passwords and locations before, but now they want to share passwords and locations and a partner is resistant to it?
But I think
you gonna have a problem with that?
I can only speak from my experience on that. For us, that just kind of, it happened. Mm-hmm. We didn't have a sit down conversation about it.
Right. I just gave you the password and you just gave me yours. But let's say that I was resistant. Let's say the same example I just did, trying to use your phone. Let's say you did it to me and I was just like, oh, I'll unlock it for you. Like,
then I'm naturally going to ask you, well, why not?
because you don't need my password. That's
Why?
privacy.
I'm like, well, why not?
Because that's privacy. Why you need it?
What privacy do you need?
The
Now that
same
you're in
line that you
no,
gave when
no,
you
no,
was just
no.
dating.
Dating and marriage,
That
that's
person.
two different things.
Okay, but that person gives you the
That's
same
two
line
different
even
things.
married.
No, that don't fly when you married. What are we talking about, sir?
So why you need it when you married?
Because I'm married. Say that word again. Those are two different things. Like, what are we really talking about? That just organically happens when you are married. But if you got to sit down and have that conversation too when you're married, like, that's a whole nother conversation too to be having. Like, what's the root cause behind you having this conversation with me? It's how I'm looking at you. Like, why are we even? Okay.
It be like
I
that.
know
It be like that sometimes though.
Nah.
You can't sit and act like
Nah.
everything in relationships and even in marriages be copacetic all the time.
I'm not saying
there
that.
be times and situations where stuff do get a little iffy. Like you acting a little weird. Like you know what I mean. So it's just like you gotta address it. You gotta talk about that. You gotta.
Yeah, you do. But and yes, there's everything is not all rainbows and whatever and glitter in a marriage. But come on, like it gets to a certain point where stuff like that, it's old and that the energy is real low vibrating. Like you don't have. And you get to a certain age where you know where you want to go. You know what you want your life to look like. You know what your priorities are. You know what's important to you. That conversation that we're wasting talking about that, we can be talking about and strategizing about something about totally different, like building wealth and what's the plan for this year? What are we doing? Where are we strategizing? What other passive incomes are we working to create? What businesses are we still investing in?
See, that's
if
what
I gotta have a conversation with you about, bro, what's your password? And you won't give me your password? Come on.
See, that's what got you married right
Come
there.
on, like what are we really doing?
That's what got you married right there.
Oh my God.
You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. And I do it again too.
You're so silly. You tripping. He tripping.
Nah, I like that.
No, but seriously, like you get to that point where it's no longer stuff like that is no longer a priority. So
stop the low vibrations. You gotta elevate
high
level vibrations around this person.
Like you no, even in relationships, like you're building to get there. Everyone wants somebody. Right. Nobody wants to be alone, and that's why I think that initially once you are single life is lit, but eventually you want somebody.
Is it lit?
Initially.
Yeah.
But eventually, everybody wants somebody. Everybody wants their partner or purpose. So you got to be intentional with your conversations. You got to be upfront with your conversations. And if that's one, you need to think about that. Especially dating, especially initial, if it's like really soon or you feel like it's soon, early on, like that's a red flag.
Okay,
on the play.
Okay, I dig that, but for the people who might be in this situation, maybe they going steady, they in a committed relationship, maybe they're not married yet, and they got a partner who refuses to share the passwords. That ain't what type of time they on. What would you say to them?
Is that a deal breaker for you?
You need to ask yourself, is this a deal breaker if this person is unwilling to do that?
Yeah.
And what if it is?
That's a conversation. That may not be where you want to be.
Hey.
No, but for real though. Seriously, like seriously though, like really, like you have to know your deal breakers. Before I bring him anything, I'm gonna ask myself: is this something I'm willing to do, or is this something I'm not willing to do, or is this a deal breaker for me? So especially while you're in that new phase of dating. Like, is this a deal breaker?
And if it is, you saying just dip out? You got peace
No,
out?
I'm not saying dip out. I'm saying you gotta weigh the pros and cons of your women. We know, you know what you truly want to be in, what you truly don't want to be in, what you may want to explore. Like, okay, I'm willing to still explore it. So therefore, you're taking something that you're saying is a deal breaker, and now you're removing it from that list and saying this isn't a deal breaker anymore because I'm willing. The moment you're like one of your deal breakers, you're willing to still accept from that person. That is no longer a deal breaker. So you have to ask yourself those tough questions. Are you okay with that? How much are you compromising yourself? How much are you compromising like yourself and what you want by removing your deal breaker from the list and still being in this relationship or choosing to pursue this relationship? What type of time are you on to entertain what you're still entertaining?
Okay, but let's have another real conversation real quick, right? So let's say, because some people don't really have a leg to stand on. They really ain't got no bargaining chips for them to be talking about, no, you ain't getting my passwords. Let's say somebody's in a committed relationship, right? Committed marriage, committed relationship, or whatever. Let's say the trust has been broken in the past, right? Could have been infidelity, could have just been lying, could have been whatever. Trust was broken. Mm-hmm. And so now they decide that the other person decided to stay and work on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they're like, okay, as a condition, and for me to really trust you, you need to come up off them passwords, and we need to share locations. If a person is not willing to do that, and they like, no, but they are a person who has broken trust before, do you then feel like they should share passwords or agree to those new terms? Like, if you're a person that's
I get what you just asked.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. What you think?
Okay, this might sound harsh. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to ask you that.
But we ain't talking about just you, though.
You're asking me what do I think, though?
Okay.
I think that if you are a person and you have broken trust that is broken, it takes time to rebuild. Mm-hmm. You, the person who broke the trust, if you're saying this is what you still want, you need to be initiating and doing everything you can in your power to show action that this is still what you want. So I shouldn't have to ask you, well, what's your password? Where are you at? What are you doing? That will drive a person crazy.
Yeah, but it'll also drive a person crazy if they got to announce their every move.
Exactly. Yes.
As well, though. So you saying that because a person is broken trust, they got to do that?
No, that's not what I said. I said I'm not asking you for that. I'm not going to ask you to share your location. I'm not going to ask you to what's your passwords, and I'm not going to be thinking every moment like, well, where is he? What is he doing? And sharing this and sharing that. No, you should be showing action that this is still what you want. So as a courtesy, check in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Communicate. That is what you're doing. You're communicating. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying every 5 minutes, every time you go somewhere. I'm just saying communicate. Mm-hmm. Because you should want to put your partner's mind at ease because you broke the trust.
And make them feel secure. So that's
another conversation though.
No, and I get that, but I'm just saying that that's part of it. Like, to me, in certain situations, some of y'all don't really got a leg to stand on. Like, if you really want the relationship, you should want to do that to make your partner feel secure. You know what I mean? If she asks to use your phone or whatever, you shouldn't give no resistance, because your whole mentality is to show her that, you still want this. You ain't on that type of time. You're moving different.
Right.
You know what I mean? You good. You ain't on that. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, you ain't really got no leverage. You ain't got no leg to stand on. If you the one that broke trust, you do gotta take the initiative, and you gotta come up off them passwords.
Show the action.
You know what I mean? And if she do want to share locations or whatever, and you are a repeat offender and you are a liar and you say you one place and you don't really be there, if you really trying to show active that or show action that you've changed, sharing locations may not be a bad idea because there's accountability that come with that. It's also, yeah, it might be for her, but it's also for you to hold yourself accountable. And that's another thing too. Like
Yeah.
even if I give you my password and you have my password, that don't necessarily mean that I'm going through it every day just because I got the password. I have the freedom to go through it if I choose to because you gave me the password. But I just want to know if you was gonna give it to me.
Right, that could be a thing too, but
You know what I mean? I'm
and
asking you for your password so I can know what it is, but I may never even go through it.
yeah, but grown, like, okay, fast forward one, just because you share a location, just because you give passwords, that does not mean that you are committed to your partner. That does,
No, it don't.
if you broke the trust, that doesn't mean I just want to clarify that you're still not going to break the trust. That means nothing.
Facts.
What it means is if you choose, it just depends on the dynamics of your relationship, one, the level that you are in on your relationship, two, what's a deal breaker for you and what's not a deal breaker for you, but also like really pay attention to organically how y'all move, how y'all communicate when it comes to personal stuff like that. Like, again, I just strongly believe, why is this a conversation? Like, it's low vibrating. Like, it's just we don't have to really focus on that.
Because the trust is lacking 9 times out of 10.
And that's something to pay attention to and to evaluate. Like, is this still worth me pursuing or not?
Or, sometimes in relationships, the person you're currently in a relationship with is paying for the mistakes of the last person. You know what I mean? The last person did you dirty and lied and cheated and did all this extra stuff. So now the person you're in a relationship with now, you running them through the ringer.
And because of that, you don't want to share your password?
No, I'm saying that's the reason why sharing locations and sharing passwords is so important to you.
Then you
because
ain't even
in
ready.
The last one, you know what I mean, they did whatever they did, and maybe you chose to stay and it didn't work out or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you feel some type of way.
No. Then you need to evaluate where you at, and maybe where you at ain't where you want to be or where you should be.
This might be a whole nother conversation. We might do a podcast topic on it, but I got a question for you. You think two broken people can still be happy? You think two broken people can come together in a relationship and grow and be happy?
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky, ain't it?
It's not tricky. It's simple. Too toxic. Toxic happiness.
I didn't say toxic.
I know
said
you
broken.
didn't say toxic. You said broken. Can two broken people come together and
be
happy?
happy?
Y'all gonna be toxically happy? No, I do not think that two broken people can come together.
But that's interesting because it happens all the time. I think it happens more.
Does that happen all the? That's all okay.
No, because I think it happens more often that two broken people come together and try to be in a relationship than two people who are actually healed come into a relationship.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
people bring in trauma and bringing past issues that they carried over from the last relationship or whatever, or childhood trauma and all of that stuff. You're broken, but yeah, you still come together trying to find love and be in a relationship. It happens a lot.
It does happen a lot, but that doesn't mean they stay together and thrive together.
I said, do you think it's possible though?
I answered that.
You said no, it ain't possible.
I don't know. I don't think it's possible.
Okay, more on that later. But
moral of the story is
we want y'all to tell us what y'all think. Comment in the comment section. Do you guys believe that you should share location and share passwords in your relationship? And when you comment, let us know, are you in a committed relationship, dating, or are you married? And just kind of let us know what your guys' thoughts are. Also, I want to remind you guys, if you're new here, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Smash that bell icon for notifications. That way you get notified every time we drop a new video. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube. And like this video and share this video. Thanks again. You've been tuned in to For Real Though.
Wait. And remember, if you're not married, you single, ladies.
You gonna get these ladies.
And fellas, if you're not married, fellas, you single. You know.
But what is that? What is that saying, For real though?
Talk about it.
What that mean?
Talk about it.
What does it mean?
Talk about it. You have options. You still need to be open. You don't want to miss your blessing. You know, you don't want to miss your blessing. But
there you have it, from Queen's lips to God's ears.
you don't want to miss your blessing.
Thanks for tuning in with us. Till the next time. Peace.